So I put about 100 hours into Space Marines at this point, and I finally have gotten all the characters and classes up to level 25. I totally understand I'm very behind on making content for this game because it's been out for a while and a lot of people have already achieved this. Nevertheless, I finally have gotten all the classes up to level 25. I've been able to mid-max them and figure out what playstyles work best for me. I've gone through all the operations a million times, it feels like, and I finally found a good rhythm for the game for me. But the reason why I'm making this video is because I wanted to address some of the things that I hope that they adjust for operations going forward, because there are some things that are very nagging to me that are quite annoying, and I really hope that they do adjust these because it would make the quality of the life of operations much better, and they're not things that would require them to rework the game. They just need to tweak some stuff, in my opinion. So the first thing I want to talk about is I want to talk about leveling the weapons, because as a max level character, there's nothing more annoying than having to go back and level your weapons. While you're going through the leveling process, it makes sense, right? You're going to level the weapons. For example, with the tactical, I know I was original, but I ended up going with the melter rifle and maxing that out. But then I realized, man, you know what? Actually, the bolt rifle with the grenade launcher is a far superior weapon, even though the melter is really good, but I want to level up this weapon. So I've been trying to do that on my tactical at level 25, and it's been honestly pretty miserable. I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of annoying. So it'd be nice if there was a way to be able to just use your points, like for example, like these little nodes up here. I wish you could use those to just level them up, even if it costs more. For example, like it costs 5 to be able to level them up. That'd be nice, because that way you can just bypass that leveling process, because you can do that with these, right? When you unlock the actual leveled up version of the gun, you can go through and click through all of these and use the requisition points to be able to max them up, and then you use the armory nodes to be able to get the perk points and stuff. So I wish they would just actually let us do that, just to level up the thing altogether. The second thing I would love to see is I would love to see some sort of reward for maxing out, actually filling up that last bar, the relic bar. You should get like a small boost to your overall stats for the weapon. That'd be nice. Maybe an extra perk point, because some of these weapons I wish it was an extra perk point, because I'd go for more damage against Major's enemies for this power sword, for example. Again, it's just kind of annoying, because it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen when you get to the end of this bar? And then when you get to the end of it, you realize, oh, nothing happened. So it'd be really nice if like there was some sort of reward, like just boosting your stats up a little bit with it, or giving you an extra perk point, just something to be able to give you a reward for actually reaching max relic level with your weapon. So another area I want to see some improvement in is the armor system, because right now as it stands, I think that we don't have enough armor segments for most of the classes, and overall armor just needs a little bit of a rework just to make it a more viable, especially as you get to the higher tier difficulties. Example being, so the sniper and the Vanguard have 2 armor segments. I don't think any character or class in the game should have 2 armor segments. I think 3 should be the minimum. The next thing I would love to see is I would love to see the armor nodes just recover faster. I think the default should be 15 seconds while you're not being hit, and not 25. 25 is just a long time. Just in general, I think that armor needs just a little bit of a rework to make it more viable, because there's just sometimes in some of the harder tier difficulties where it's just way too punishing, in my opinion. You can never recover armor. It's very difficult. You got to do some gimmicky things to make it happen. So some little reworks like that would make it a little bit better, in my opinion. The next set of changes I want to talk about are directed toward the assault class specifically, because out of all the classes so far, it definitely does feel like it's the weakest. Now when it's maxed out in terms of you having all the perks, it really does feel pretty good overall, and especially if you get good at the gun strikes and really timing them well, it feels really good, because getting this one ability alone makes your survivability go through the roof, and then getting a few more abilities down here that make your jump pack come faster really do make it great. But what I would love to see is I would love to see some of these perks more readily available earlier, right? Because Assault has survivability issues, it'd be nice if this armor reinforcement was the first thing you get, and then you can get these other things later and try them out if you want. But the armor reinforcement should be able to be at the top, just to give you that extra survivability in the earlier levels, because it's really a struggle on the ruthless difficulty and even higher to survive without that one perk, and you don't get it until like level 20 or something like that. It's pretty late on, 18 I think it is. I think that we should get an extra jump pack charge more than anything. I think that would be massive for this character, because in multiplayer you actually get 3 charges instead of just the 2. I think you should be flying around with this thing, moving super fast. You should be able to, I'm glad that they have this perk in there, but it's a little bit inconsistent. When you dodge or get perfectly dodge, you actually get your jump pack back. That'd be cool if you just dodged in general. It doesn't have to be a perfect dodge. You could get your jump pack back, so that way it actually inspired some different gameplay styles. So that way, okay, if I, instead of normal dodging, I wanna boost dodge, so that way I can feel faster in the flow of combat. I boost dive and I come back with a hammer and slam. I don't know, I just want some more flow, fluidity, some more speed with this class. Like, the assault class, in my opinion, is supposed to feel super fluid and fast, and right now it just feels kind of clunky and kind of gimmicky, and I don't know, I just really want some changes to the class to make it just feel more, it should be the best melee class in the game. And right now it feels like it's behind Vanguard, and it's behind Bulwark, and it's even behind Tactical in some ways, because Tactical is very efficient with the chainsword, and Assault is supposed to have the big badass thunder hammer. Come on, dude. I mean, it's supposed to feel like the best melee class in the game, and right now it does not. The next thing I want to talk about is melee damage overall in this game. It definitely needs a big buff. Now, the chainsword feels pretty good. It's actually the smoothest weapon. It feels like it's got the most versatility with its perk set. Like, you get this little stomp effect. It feels like you get a lot more like fluid motions. You get extra attacks. Just again, the sword feel, the chainsword feels really, really good. It feels very powerful. Now, when you go back to the assault, the thunder hammer should feel more badass. It should feel very strong, very powerful. However, against even Minoris level enemies, it's going to take the same amount of damage as the chainsword. Like, the fact that this has 10 strength is egregious. And then I would say the same thing with the power sword. The power sword actually has a little bit more damage than the thunder hammer. However, with just even between the two modes, it doesn't feel overall like it's got a lot of power to it. It feels like your primary damage is going to be from that perfect parry gun strike thing, and it's not going to be necessarily from you swinging around your sword like a badass. All right, so the next big thing that I really want, and this is probably the biggest thing, and I've seen it a lot on Reddit and just online in general, is we desperately need a class queuing system. There's nothing more annoying than clicking to the operation. You want to play your Bulwark, you want to play your assault or whatever, and you go in and then somebody else is using the same class and they won't change, and then you need to change, or you need to back out until you can find a lobby that is not got a Bulwark in there. I mean, it happens when you go into a game in progress, right? When you go into a game in progress, you usually get told that only these set characters are available. Why can't that be the normal, right? Because that's in World of Warcraft. I remember World of Warcraft, you queued as tank, DPS, or healer. Like, why can't you just queue as one of the classes? The next thing I want to see changed is I want to see some sort of change to the contested health earning potential for all the classes, because I feel like there's only a couple of classes, well, I don't feel like, I know there's only a couple of classes in the game that really can benefit from different abilities they have to be able to recover contested health consistently. Vanguard, for example, their last perk can just recover health altogether, so that's actually one of the most overpowered perks in the game. The Bulwarks get the chapter banner that they can drop, and if you have the perk selected, everybody around you that's in the area gets their contested full health bar back to maximum and can actually be able to execute and recover their health, so that's cool. But outside of that, there's really not a lot of things you can do to recover contested health unless you're, you know, using stims or whatever, but there's just not a lot of ways. So I feel like every class should have some sort of way to either recover health itself or be able to recover their contested health bar slowly to where that way they can heal themselves over time. Another big thing I want to see changed is I want to see a change to the gene seed, because I like the overall thought and idea around the gene seed. Is cool because you can actually extract the thing that gives you more XP. Very cool, I like it. However, I think it's a little bit too punishing with the fact that, like, if you go down one time, you lose it. I understand if you totally go down, mean you completely die, cool, then it goes away, no big deal. But the fact that you can go down one time, especially with how many weird things that can happen during an operation, because there's been time where I just go down out of nowhere, right? Or the seeker mines just absolutely kill me. That's very annoying as well. But yeah, it's just, in general, I really would love to see, like, the gene seed just reworked in a way that you can actually get a couple of downs before it actually disappears, because I think that's a little unfair in my opinion. A bigger thing that I would love to see, but I don't really know exactly how they would do it, but it's just something I've noticed, is that it really feels like that a lot of the perks for the weapons and just the perks of the classes are out of place, right? I really would love to see, like I already mentioned, is some rework to the assault class to get some things earlier to make the class more enjoyable in the earlier stages of the game, and maybe save some things for the later half. That's cool, but it should just have some of these should just be moved around in order to make the class just feel a little bit better. You can go through every class and nitpick this, but I would love to see some perks rearranged to offer some more flexibility with builds, because right now it feels like you're kind of pigeonholed, because some of these core talents or whatever really do feel like they have like one row of them feels like it has all the best perks for the class. You can only use one of them, which is kind of annoying. I just really would love to see some sort of rework to this, and it's the same issue with the weapons as well. Anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments below what changes you want to see to operations. Let me know if you mirror some of my thoughts on this. I would love to hear what you got to say, and maybe I'll feature my next video. But tons more videos coming out on Space Marines 2 and everything PvE game related, so stay tuned on the channel. I'll see you next time.